What's up, guys? So, you've hit a plateau. Well, the best thing you can do is quit jiu-jitsu immediately because you'll never get better. I'm joking, obviously. Plateaus are temporary, okay? They are temporary. You will eventually continue to get better. I promise. There are some things you should keep in mind that will help you clear that plateau more quickly. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is maybe the plateau is all in your head because everyone else around you is also getting better, okay? So it may just be that you're measuring your progress based on how you're doing with other people when you roll with them. But remember, if those people are constantly training as well, just like you are, your outcomes in those roles may be very similar over a long period of time because they are also getting better. So just because you're doing this, the same with that person that you're rolling with doesn't mean that you've not improved, okay? It's much more likely that you're both improving, and that is the same with anybody else in the gym, right? Anyone else that is rolling and training constantly, everyone that you partner with that is rolling and training constantly, they are getting better, just like you are, okay? So if there's not major differences in the outcomes of your roll, even if it's over a few months, that does not mean that you're not improving, okay? Now, let's say you really are stuck in a plateau and you feel like you haven't made any innovations to your game, okay? Well, the biggest advice I could give you is there may not be enough structure to the way that you train to maintain consistent improvement over time, okay? So maybe you're just coming to class, you're learning the techniques of the day, but then you're not doing positional drilling and you're just going into open mat and falling back on your A game and doing everything that you normally do. Obviously, that's not conducive to innovating your game and implementing new things into your game. So what you want to do is make sure that, one, you're focusing on a few skills, okay? You're focusing on a few skills that you're going to work on either, in the positional drilling, if you do that, or if you don't do that, in the unstructured rolling part of class. The best way to do that, if you don't have positional drilling at your school, is to make sure that when you're going into open mat, you find somebody and you ask them, hey, can I work the mount, right? There's a few things I want to work on the mount. We'll switch top bottom. I guarantee you most people will say, oh yeah, that's cool, let's do that, Not everybody likes to do that, but most people, if you ask them like, hey, can we work this particular position, I'm sure they would be receptive to that. And you could just switch top and bottom, that way you work both the defensive and offensive skills. But that's a way, way better option than just not having a plan and engaging in an unstructured role where you're only going to be using your A game and you're not going to be learning anything new. Doing this positional drilling forces you to go into positions where you maybe normally wouldn't be, right? Or maybe you normally wouldn't want to be in, right? So it's very useful for working your defensive and offensive skills, okay? So structure your training. The other thing I'll say is perhaps the way that the people that you're rolling with are not conducive to improving the skills you want to improve, okay? So if you want to get better defensively in jiu-jitsu, that's really easy. You roll with people that are better than you and you get smashed, okay? That's a very easy thing to do. If you want to improve your offensive skills, it's much, much harder to do that. Because if I just roll with people that are better than me, how many opportunities in my rolls do I get to practice my offensive skills? Probably zero or close to zero, okay? Because I'm getting smashed the whole time. I'm working my defensive skills. So if you want to work your offensive skills, the best thing you can do is to make most of your training partners worse than you, right? Make sure that most of your training partners are worse than you in jiu-jitsu, so that way you have the ability to actually implement and practice your offense. Even if they're of equal skill than you might get chances to practice your offense, but it's not going to be as often and as consistent as someone that's not as good as you. So that is called the 70-30 rule. I have a video I made several months ago about that. It's a rule taught to me by Rob Kahn, and I've used it to structure my training to great success. 70% of your rolls should be against people that are less skilled than you, so you can work on your offense, because offense is a much, much harder skill to develop than defense, okay? If I have 6 things that I need to do in a chain to finish a submission, the defender only needs to disrupt 1 point in that chain to stop what I'm trying to do. Whereas if I'm the defensive person, to be successful defensively and stop that chain of offense, I just need to disrupt one thing. So for that reason, working your defense and getting better at defense is a lot easier. You just put yourself in bad positions. Working your offense requires more skills. So you want to make sure that 70% of your rolls, you're working your offense by rolling against people that are not as good as you, okay? Now, the last thing I'll say, guys, don't give up. I know it's cliche, but listen, a lot of people, especially around blue belt, but also at other ranks, white belt, purple belt, they give up because they feel that they think that they're not progressing as fast as they should be. And they maybe are watching other people around them get better, get promoted, and that's dissuading to them, right? Don't let that be you, okay? You will eventually get to black belt. You just have to continue to maintain a consistent, structured schedule of training. And you will get there, I promise, okay? It may take you 8 years, may take you 10 years, may take you 15, may take you 20 years, okay? But you make small, incremental, consistent improvement over time, okay? You will eventually get to that skill level. Don't be daunted by how far away the peak is, okay? Make little goals and meet those, okay? If the only goal you have is, I'm gonna get a black belt, well, that's gonna take you so long that it's gonna be frustrating. But if you have little incremental goals, like, okay, I'm gonna work my arm bars for a month and I'm gonna get better at arm bars, okay? That's a much more achievable, instantly achievable goal. And that's something that you can have success in. A month later, you'll probably be much better at arm bars, right? So don't get daunted by the long-term goal, right? Have short-term goals that you're meeting along the way, so that way you don't feel down on yourself just because you're not progressing as quickly as you would like. Those small, short-term goals are really, really helpful to gauge your progress and to make sure that you have something to look forward to and something to work on every day when you come in to train. So I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, share it with your friends. There might be a blue belt, a white belt, a purple belt out there that's struggling because they feel like they're not getting better. Well, tell them it's not the end of the world. They will get better. Have them follow these tips. So make sure you share this video, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new and click that notification bell. That way you guys get notified every time we have new content out there. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you next time.